Hello and welcome to our Untitled Anime Podcast, YouTube podcast.
Anime. We'll call it anime.
That's already a thing.
All the good names are taken. I wanted to do an improv group, and so I was talking to my friend Max about doing an improv group, and so he's like, should be room for improvement? I'm like, you don't know, that's already a thing. He's like, probably. We checked, it's like a thing down in the southern United States.
Good lord.
All the good names are taken.
I know.
I'm taken.
Bullshit.
Max from the games with me and Steve. With me today is Mr. Liam.
Hi, I'm useless.
And my friend Jordan. No, Mr.
We need the space for my school.
and we're all big anime fans, and I thought we should do something for anime on Stella's. Steven was supposed to come, but he's a lazy shit.
He's just busy.
Yeah,
Same difference.
If you ever wonder why stuff is never released on our channel, is because of Steven being busy.
Quotes. Air quotes there.
My homework done, including hard projects in like 3 hours.
I have to do a culminating before Christmas break, and I haven't started.
I have to actually do homework. Anyway, anime.
So yeah, this is more of a testing, formatting stuff, seeing what works and what doesn't, how we want to do stuff from now on.
Welcome to the pirate episode, basically.
Yeah, so just ramble. Leah, what have you been watching? Slash reading, we'll also do mine.
Well, the Seven Deadly Sins is a thing. It's from the latest releases. It is surprisingly good and deep, despite having a lot of curvy things.
Yeah, I saw the first episode with, it's the one with the guy and the pig and,
Yeah.
Yeah, the pig before the closer on his path.
Yeah.
I'm calling it, no, never mind. It's all beasts. For a second I thought the pig was one of them. I was like, no, they're all beasts.
All I have to say is that pig's mom is the most badass mom ever. It's an entire house.
It's not a house, it's just the giant pig with a house on top.
Yeah.
I watched the first episode, right? And there's the scene where he's selling the bread, and he's grabbing her breast, and she waits and he's like, heartbeat's normal. I watched that scene and I'm like, oh shit.
Here's my issue.
No, that would never happen. No. If I did that, guarantee that would never work.
Max, you won't know until you try.
Totally, it may not work, but it was totally worth it.
Smack across the face.
So, Liam, what are some of your initial thoughts on it? What do you think's going to happen with the series?
Well, I'm completely caught up. So I think there's going to be some huge conflict between the Fairy King and Ban, who you may or may not know at this point. It depends on how far along you are.
I've seen the first episode, man.
Yeah, again, it depends on how far along you are. Because of some recent developments that I don't want to reveal right now because of spoilers. So yeah, there may be some verbal conflict at the least, some really heavy fighting at the most. Yeah. What about you, Max? What have you seen?
Well, this week has been incest week for me. Everything I've watched.
Are you watching
I kicked off this week with Irregular at the Magical High School. Is that what it's called?
Irregular High School, I believe you're looking for.
Listen, anime, keep the title short and keep like a second long title. It's just difficult. But I wanted to watch all of it, but there's been some issues, so I only got about halfway through it before. And I've just been trying to power through episodes before coming on, but so I've gotten halfway through, and of course in that one there's the sister and brother the sister clearly has the hots for the brother. But,
Table flip.
But from what I've watched of it so far, it's good. It's getting into the overarching plot, and there's some funny parts, and there's some interesting. The music's okay. I like the second opening, and they have this, and they have some cool music, and they have some interesting characters.
Yeah.
I don't want to comment it on too much because I haven't completely finished it. However, because I watched that on Netflix, and I had to go off Netflix for a bit, I'm like, what should I watch? And I tried to think of it. The anime I should watch, and what came to mind was Orihimo.
My little sister can't possibly be this cute, really?
Exactly. And
yeah,
so,
I know, right?
my main point is, it is the most ridiculous. It's such a stupid show. It has absolutely it doesn't have any real substance to it, and the plot's completely ridiculous and erratic, and I love it way too much. This literally contains pretty much almost everything that I hate about or I don't like about anime, aside from a couple of things. But for some reason, I just love it so much.
God damn it, Max.
You could have done a lot worse.
Yeah, I'm not saying he couldn't. I mean, it could be Boku no Pico, but still.
No, I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about the same exact type of storyline done. Like, he could have done Yosuke no Sora or some shit like that.
True.
I'm personally, I'm not a fan of harems.
Let's
talk about the harem genre for a little bit before going into Orihime. The problem with harem genres is there isn't much you can do with them. What you do is you take a plain protagonist, you take a bunch of stereotypical archetypes, and then you put the guy into misunderstandings in which he gets hit.
Yeah.
And there's also him trying to avoid the misunderstandings.
Yeah, but here's the thing. Here's the thing. Two main characters will always win out. The tsundere or the childhood friend. Like, think about it. That's who always wins.
Yep.
I love yandere.
Of course you do.
Of course you do.
But after watching Orihimo, I kind of like Snudge right now.
What the hell? What kind of pronunciation was that? Snudge. No, I'm gonna use the pronunciation from now on.
Good lord.
You know what? I try, okay? Listen. I have to pronounce stuff correctly in English. I have to pronounce stuff correctly in French. And on the off chance I use a little bit of German, I have to pronounce that correctly. Actually, my German, although I don't use it ever, and I've forgotten almost every word. The pronunciation is still better than my French.
That's like me with my Spanish, totally.
Like, I've never used it, but when I learned it when I was a kid, and I was in the quantum, so it was really easy.
Yay, being monolingual!
The trick is you just have to spit when you talk. That's really the trick.
Good lord. Alright, we're off track here.
Yeah, getting back on.
Yeah, we already gone off on a tangent.
Should we continue with the criticism of harem, or should we just go on to...
I never find the scenes where they get mad and hit the protagonist. I never found that funny. The only thing I find actually funny in harems is the scenes where they're trying to avoid the misunderstanding. Like a good example from Orihimo, because I just watched that, is the scene where Jordan, what's the childhood friend? What's her name?
Oh no, the glasses.
Yeah.
The glasses girl. Yeah, the brown hair.
I'm so bad. I'm horrible with names.
I'm just kind of here shaking my head because I don't know what's going on.
The scene where she's coming into his room and then he realizes that the brother sister XXX rated game is up, and he's like, oh, shit, and he blocking. He's like, no, don't come in here. He's trying to hit the escape key.
Okay.
That scene, I like this because it's the hilarious, desperate attempt to fix to stop them from. I think a lot of people, I can relate to a scene like that.
Yeah, no. Anybody can relate to a scene like that. That's reasonable.
And that initial panic with no.
Oh god.
And then immediately it failed anyway.
Well, yeah, because they had to have a reason for him to get hit.
Basically.
Yeah, that at least that made sense. In that scene, I know Liam, you're not familiar with it, but what happened was the sister was mad, so she opened it and put up that peanut for all its more magazines on the beds.
Oh, jeez.
So he finally stops. He stops her from seeing the thing by hitting the escape key. Then he looks over and knows she's in the porn bag. So you have to go save that, and meanwhile the game pops back up on the laptop. And that's what I mainly. That's pretty much the only thing I find funny about it. the harem genres. The
Well,
problem is
I
that
thought the fact that he traveled all the way across the world just to play a hentai game with his sister, honestly.
the thing was, it's not. I don't think it's funny at the moment, but when you actually think about it for a second,
yeah. But another problem with harem animes is they're usually adaptations of visual novels where the creators just couldn't decide what route to go with, so they went with the two classic ones.
Yeah, this is a light novel though.
Same thing, really.
it was a light novel that was converted to an anime that was converted to a manga, which was converted to a game. I'm not sure which came first, the game or the manga. Though, interestingly, in the game, because spoiler ending for Orihime, they end up together, but it was like the stupid ending where it's like, oh, we'll only be together until graduation.
Okay, but I'm here to stop you there. Please stop adding an H to Orihime. It's driving me crazy.
Wait, is this still My Little Sister Can't Be This Cute, or am I just... Okay.
Yes, it's just Orihime for short. But the way it ends is they end up together, but they have to break up before graduation.
Because incest is not wincest, people.
And the reason was because, literally because the producer for this stuff was like, yeah, this won't go very well. However, in the game, if you play it, you can end up full incest with your sister.
The light novel is canon, so I consider it canon altogether.
Alright.
The other thing I found hilarious about Orihime is the joke. It's pretty much the same kind of joke. It's weird. There were some funny parts, but it wasn't really funny. The only other really funny thing about it was like the ending, where he's doing the confession. And as I'm watching the confession to his sister, I'm thinking, what are the people who are sitting around staring at them while they're doing this confession on this giant fucking speaker thinking?
Oh my god, they're gonna bang!
It's like this crowd of people are surrounding, listening to like the speaker scream. I'm a sister lover. It's ridiculous.
To be honest, I just be like, is there a pedophile over there?
It's just like, no, it's just like, I did not realize we were in the South.
Anyway, you think the South would be the ones who are most against it, but no.
Okay, let's stop there before we go into some politics about actual real world.
I want to go back. I want to go off the tangent about something about be regular at the Magic High School. I forgot there's something I wanted to add in. But let's finish up Orihime really quickly. But yeah, so I mean, it's weird. It's not the type of thing I normally watch, and the only reason I did end up watching it was because of the controversial ending. But for some reason, I enjoyed it a lot more than I should have, and it amused me. However, the most important part, Jordan, when you were watching it, who did you want to win his heart?
I wanted him to just go. I wanted all of them to hate it, and then him just go on his own.
Just forever alone.
So he wanted the left hand to win.
He wanted the ending where he said, "Sister, I love you," and she said, "That's weird." And then all the other girls say, "Yeah, that's seriously fucked up."
Yeah.
You know,
You go 3, 2, 1 to 1 cheese that.
I'm not gonna lie, I wanted the sister to win. Partially because I wanted a controversial ending, which I knew was going to happen anyway. Like, if I didn't know about the ending, I'd still root for the sister because I want that kind of weird ending.
Yeah. I do root, but for me, like, if all of them hated him, that would be shocking for me. I'd be like, oh shit, no one won.
You know,
that would be an interesting ending, yeah.
No, here's what I would think would be an interesting ending. He winds up with a girl who's not part of the harem, quote unquote. She's never seen on screen, she just comes out of nowhere and like wins.
All the fans,
no, that would be bullshit. That would make me bad.
That's why Liam wants to see you guys get trolled.
Exactly, like just troll everybody.
The other reason I want to see the sister win is because of the justification. Because whenever in anything, when they choose someone, they have to give some sort of justification.
Right.
So I want to see what the author's justification for the incest would be. That's the thing. But now I want to did you think of the ending?
I never watched it, so.
I didn't think too highly of it, but I didn't think too lowly of it either. It just kind of flew by there.
I love the ending until the graduation thing, which really threw me off. Because it's like, here's what I don't get. Like, I get why, because it's the producer thing, but as soon as they decide, because what I immediately thought was, so let me get this straight. He had all these girls want to confess to him. And instead of that, he chose to hang out with his sister for a week, doing the stuff they regularly do.
Yes.
Yeah.
See, that just doesn't make sense. I don't know.
Wait, which part of the ending are you talking about? The confession or the after thing?
Well, here's in my mind, because he knows ahead of time that he's only going to be with her up until graduation.
Yeah.
But he still refuses to accept the confessions of anyone else. I mean, let's say, I get you love your sister, right? Like, this whole thing's supposed to be he loves his sister. But, and I could see him going with her for the rest of his life. But for a week, he gave up happiness with all the other girls for a week, or a month, or however long with her. Because it's actually like a few days of graduation. So it's a week, not even.
He just wants the quick bang before getting out.
What's the bang for his phone?
I mean, even if you want, you could say yes and be with her till graduation. And then he could have accepted the confession and say that they would go out, and then he would start going out with her after the wedding ceremony.
Yeah.
Right? So, it don't make no sense.
Neither does a guy going out with his sister.
Listen.
During the wedding,
Chewbacca don't make sense. You must have quit.
they can't be together.
Yeah, so why doesn't he not be with her? Why doesn't he just be with her for the week and then go with one of the other girls for the rest of his life?
My question is, why is he doing this in the first place if he knows he can't be with her?
That's what I was trying to bring up.
Well, the first place, so he at least gets a week instead of nothing. I mean, that I can see why we go with the week instead of going never at all.
Don't you think it would be, like, more painful for her to, go for a week, and then it has to be cut off because he can't date her for whatever the reason was? I don't know.
To be fair, Liam, she was the one who suggested it.
Oh, then never mind.
She was being stupid.
Then she wanted the D.
Yeah.
Well, that doesn't make sense either, because right after he confesses and we go back to the hotel room, she says, we should get some ideas based off this hentai game, and then it goes full hentai, and she's like, no, we're not taking this idea. What do you want? What do you want from me?
Good lord.
He's giving up the rest of his life. I mean, come on, you gotta give him something.
You know what? This conversation was good, very interesting, but maybe we should put a period and a couple enters, you know?
Like, here's the thing, I'm getting cut off a lot, and I'm cutting people off a lot.
Yeah, no, that's what we do a lot.
Yeah, Anime podcast.
Yeah.
Now, I want to go on a tangent for a little bit about the irregular at the Magic High School for a couple of reasons.
Yeah.
The way that the story set up is there's massive global cooling, and then a bunch of major superpowers happen.
Wait. Back up. Cooling?
Yeah, that's...
So the Earth is getting colder.
Yeah, and it gets cold.
Yeah.
But the weird thing is, it's supposed to get really cold, and resources are supposed to become scarce. But in the show, it looks like regular temperature.
Okay, at least it's better than global warming.
Funny in the show, not gonna lie.
But I mean, if you are really going to go for, it just seems a bit, well, I don't know how much of an issue it is in Japan.
I don't know if you thought about this, about the art, but for me, the art was just it was so plain to me. It just looked all plasticky and clear and plain. I didn't like it at all.
Could have been done on a computer.
No, but that's like, yeah, Liam, you watch No Game No Life, that looks fucking, good.
Yeah.
It's just plain and clear and gross.
I honestly haven't watched much of it. I tried watching the first episode and just could not get into Irregular High School.
Yeah, the art style just turned me off completely.
I'll concede it's not a regular art. I'll concede it's not anything special, but I didn't see anything really bad.
Yeah, true. It doesn't.
It reminded me a little bit of it kind of looked like the the kind of newy kind of anime they're going through instead of like a. Because if you go by generation, the really old generation is like stuff like Akira and whatnot. Then if you got the middle generation, which is where we came in, which is most of the modern one. But this, it's
No, I would say it's
it seems it seems like this the anime is the newest generation of animation technology.
I disagree with Max there. I'd say there's the 80s looking stuff, there's the 90s looking stuff, there's 1,000 looking stuff where we came in, and then there's the 2010s looking stuff.
I just know that as time went by, it got less and less gritty looking, and that's why I'm okay with that.
Well, we're on this topic. What is your what do you think has the best animation of any
Anime?
Anime, yeah.
That's all relative, dude. Like, it also depends on what the anime is doing.
That's why I'm asking for your opinion.
Well,
I couldn't choose.
Yeah, same. Like,
there's no really like anime that would really stick out animation-wise for me, I guess. Does that make any sense?
Yeah, like if you really think about it, like, okay, you guys know Free, right?
Yeah.
That all started as the company trying to show off, like, look how well we can animate water. It's just like
that is the when I watched Free, that was the only thing I was looking at.
Oh no, like that. No. Like
I watched Free for nothing else other than water animation.
No, it became an anime because people were demanding it because, swimming anime.
Because of the fan service.
Yeah, but
But
it originally came out as a trailer for just showing off how well they animated the water. And here's what I find funny: they don't actually use that animation.
I like to imagine that 99.9% almost everyone requested for fan service, and then there's one person somewhere who's like, this water is amazing.
He's so thirsty.
I'm totally watching this for the water thing.
Like he turns up, and then he zooms in just at the water. And like the scenes where they go to the store, he just skips them. Give me the water.
Max, the water is the fan service for that thing.
Okay. We're going tangent again. Let's U-turn. But yeah, like you got my point. It's all relative to the anime.
Yeah. So the one thing I really wanted to complain about the anime and the regular Smash has nothing to do with anything related to anime. It's just in the storyline, America and Canada come together and form North America as a country.
God damn it.
Yeah.
That would
be stupid.
To
be fair, Max, the anime ends with giant explosions. It fits. There.
I get it. I just want to go on record saying that would never happen.
Yeah, I would. You haven't seen the ending, Max. The ending is
in real life, Canada and America. Listen. America, we love you. We just hate everything about your government and policies.
Good Lord, Max.
And we also hate about half of your country.
Which half? Wait. The upper half or the lower half?
Well, that's unfair to say. There's people in the lower half who are good people, not.
I have an American friend on the other half.
We hate the Christian extremists, and we hate a large chunk of your policies and how you run your governments.
Okay, I have a friend who lives in Connecticut, and Americans hate themselves, Max, because he said he hates Christian extremists and stuff.
Yeah, that's.
Listen, we love America for a couple. We like America for a couple of reasons.
America will turn on itself eventually.
They'll buy, but they're good. They buy shit from us, which helps our economy, and they're like. And if we ever get into serious trouble, they'll come and help us.
Question.
That being said, they keep dragging us into.
Question.
That's it. This has nothing to do with anime. It just got to me a little bit.
It's alright, it's a good tangent.
Yeah. But let's tangent back to anime, huh?
Yeah, let's tangent back. We're off way too many things.
Listen, my patriotism demanded it.
Canada!
Oh, Canada.
No!
Okay,
Anime.
Okay, back to anime. And the other thing to conclude my incest-filled week was I read the manga Zero, which was okay. I had a number of problems with it. It was weird. It's about, I think it's like, I'm going to check. I just realized I can just pick it up and check. I think there's, how many chapters? There's 70 chapters. And I had some, I'm not against fast-paced anime. Like, I like Kill la Kill, which was a very fast-paced anime. The problem I have is when the pacing goes faster than the actual...
No, Max, I would completely disagree with the fact that Kill la Kill is a fast-paced anime. That is bullshit. Kill la Kill could have been cut in half and been a lot better.
I felt they should have... Listen, I'm probably a bit biased to Studio Trigger, but I felt they should have actually added an episode.
Okay, go on.
And stretched... Because here's my problem with the ending of Kill la Kill.
Yeah.
Nudist Beach sucked. Like, they were really good up until the ending, and then immediately, like, as soon as they got the DTRs, everything went downhill. Everything sucked. The DTRs are useless. I would bet money that Sumagu's his name, right?
Which one?
Mohawk guy.
I just call him Mohawk guy.
I bet good money that Mohawk is stronger outside the DTR than he is in it.
Listen.
I think it actually hinders his ability.
Listen, I think they were doing it to...
I felt what they should have done was it should have been they should have had one episode to make it like a 25. It was make it 25, and then better give more for the ending, because there was the big thing where she went Super Saiyan and killed Tyrion, but I felt like they didn't give enough to. They gave a bunch to the main character Satsuki and them, but they didn't give enough to like the lower ranking characters. They should have given more for them to do.
Okay, like character development.
They have really underdeveloped characters.
Yeah, that is a problem. But at the same time, it's kind of a new anime for this new studio, so...
They didn't need the Monster of the Week bullshit. That's just general writing, Leah. They shouldn't have had those Monster of the Week episodes.
I don't think Kill la Kill is a complete... It's not revolutionary.
No.
It's the female version of Gurren Lagann.
Basically.
No, Gurren Lagann didn't have, like, Monster of the Week episodes, like, every single fucking second, until something happened.
It depends where you go. I mean, the first few episodes, yeah, it was. There was the thing with the bathhouse and whatnot. And then they kept on moving up, and they kept acting, they got the new, and they kept, what it was they kept getting the new ships and started fighting stronger guys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, in...
So, I mean,
it was built around that idea. Kill la Kill wasn't. It just kind of scrapped that idea.
That's the thing, like... I guess they're also...
I think the problem is what they should have... It's because they put, like, 24 into one season. I mean, when they did Gurren Lagann, the first season was very much Monster of the Week kind of thing, where they got in their
giant suits,
whatever, and they took down the next most powerful guy, and then they took that and they kept on moving up.
Yeah.
Then the second season was the more overarching, because the first one was about defeating the Spirals, and then the second one was the actual overarching storyline kind of thing. However, to be fair, I hated about half of that season.
Yeah.
Which half?
We should do I think we should do a podcast completely about Trigger.
Yeah.
And not just Trigger, but the stuff that I can't remember his name now. But the stuff he created, like Gurren Lagann, Kill la Kill, FLCL.
Furikuri!
But I felt that they should have given more to some of the characters. But I mean, even in Gurren Lagann, for the side characters, there was no development.
That was all both of them to me.
Yeah, like, but that's typically what happens in anime. Like, main character gets a good amount, so do some sub characters, but generally They remain undeveloped.
You know what, though? I'd be lying if I didn't say that button pressing guy gave me hype.
But he was the fire everything!
Go! Gotta love his nose. You gotta love the button guy's nose.
Yeah.
Here's the thing about, and that's not really true. Here's the thing. With most anime, what I find is you either have one of two issues. Either it's because there can be tons of character development in. I mean, it's difficult. I think it's difficult for anime because seasons are typically shorter. Because a full season is 24 episodes, and then a half a season is 13. And usually, most times it's 13. Well, usually, most animes at least most that I've watched, usually it's 13 in a season.
Oh yeah, 13 is the ending. Sorry, yeah.
Yeah. So, it and I mean, and each episode is about 20 some odd minutes. So I mean, 13 times 20, that's 26 hours, right?
Something so.
Yeah.
That's not a lot of time for a lot of character development.
No.
In 13 episodes, and it's difficult to do a bunch of character development. Like I remember in Angel Beats, they did they got a few episodes into it when the main character, I can never remember anyone's names. The main character wanted to solve everyone's problems. So
Right.
it looked like he was going to start doing a Problems of the Week episode. And so he did one, and it was the little lolly-esque girl.
Yeah, I was gonna say there was at least one.
And he did an entire episode where that they actually went out into the flesh and they developed that character and they showed.
He also solved the fangirl problem. If you want to be really
To be fair, he didn't have much to do with that.
Oh yeah, but he kind of did.
Yeah, but back to my movie. And they went through that, and they went through an entire episode and they managed to develop the character, and then she went back to the thing. And then they never did it again because it took way too much time. And so we got, and the problem with that was that then we got the end of Angel Beats. And my biggest problem with Angel Beats, for that reason, was they never did anything with any of the other characters. Like the one guy who always dances and like never. I don't want to hear his back. He was the coolest guy there.
Yeah, he was a
We're just going around dancing like, yo, I got these moves, and they did nothing with him.
I'm not gonna lie, I don't know what you guys are talking about. I have not seen this anime.
I watched.
This is a popular anime.
I watched Angel Beats, and then I immediately, right after, went to get my health card, and they asked me if I wanted to be an organ donor, and I'm like, you just, but now I got it.
No.
I am actually an organ donor too, so it's not that bad. Anyway, moving on.
But yeah, the problem with, so in conclusion, with anime that have short seasons, they can either develop all the characters just a little bit, or they can focus on one and develop it massively. So, it's not. However, on the other side, you have things like Naruto.
Oh.
That ending was so bad, but that's another tangent. That's a tangent.
That's spoilers.
I've gotten to almost the end of Shippuden, but I never finished the ending. But for most of that, for most of Naruto, there isn't any real character development for anyone.
Yeah, that is true.
Yamato didn't need character development.
Like, I mean, for every character, all the character development happens within, like, the first few episodes of their arrival.
If you do not
Like,
laugh.
all Naruto's development happened within the first few episodes. Sasuke, pretty much his character development ended when he went and joined Orochimaru. Sai just had, he had one character, then he became friends, they had different character.
Yeah.
Here's what I find funny. With Naruto, most of the character development, besides the backstory, winds up being Naruto beat someone up until they change their views.
Basically. And that was what led into the ending, too. Yeah, totally.
We can't talk about the ending due to spoilers. Just saying.
Okay. I will stay away from that, but I'm just gonna say
I want to finish my thing on Circle, because we were talking about character development with it.
Right.
But yeah, getting back to Circle. So I felt that it was fast-paced, but it outstretched the development of the characters. And so, it just, like, the things that the people were doing didn't make sense. And there's weird things, like, things that didn't make sense just because it didn't make sense. For example, in the anime, in the manga, Shu, who's the main character, gets into a fight with this kid in his class over some stuff that's been happening. And so he goes and he's beating them all up with his super force.
Wait, which anime is this now?
This is a manga called Circle.
Oh, okay.
I'll get the full. I believe it's just called Circle. I can check. Sorry, no, it's called Zero. My bad.
Same thing. Both are circles.
That's what. It's called Zero. And so he goes and he fights the girl, his classmate, and his sister shows up. And she's like, I gotta protect my brother. And there's a whole scene, and there's a bunch, and he does some stuff, and he, I don't want to get into too much because it's not relevant to my point, but in the end, he, forces the, character to do some stuff because he threatened, because he, like, it's this weird scene where he goes and he, starts forcing the brother to do the same things to his sister that he did to the, girl that he's mad about, which he did some pretty, he was doing some messed up stuff. And so he's starting, he almost forces them to go through this horrible traumatic event, but ends up stopping because he says he's going to repent and stuff. And there's a couple of reasons. And also some other people show up. But, however, he does push her through a traumatic experience, which I don't want to go into too much detail about. And then the next day she comes and asks him to go out with her. And I'm like, okay, the situation could kind of make sense under certain circumstances, but they never really explain why she would go out with this guy who essentially traumatized her.
Stockholm Syndrome?
Yeah, but that wouldn't work either, because he was only in there for a couple of minutes. And then later, at the very end, he ends up banging this one chick, and she's going to have his baby. And it comes, it's like, whoa, wait a second, where did this come from? Because one minute, he's like, his mental consciousness is gone, and he's reverted to like an infant. And then, for some reason, that leads to him banging her, and then he gets all of his memories back. It's like, well, slow down there for a second.
Yes, wait. Slow down. My head's spinning.
Why was there any romantic relationships in there? I mean, there was some hinting that she was thinking of her sister at the time, but they never really go into too much detail. It's really weird. And there was never anything really suggesting that the girl loved him at any point. And it's just really, really weird.
I'm totally lost.
No development.
You might want to link me this. I might want to read this myself. Just to describe it is not.
Yeah, I'll link it to you after this. But yeah, so
since we're linking it to each other, we might as well put it in the description below. If we do.
So anyway, my final reviews, my final stars, points and whatnot. Orihime, it's worth going out, you can watch it online.
Stream it.
Oh, one thing about Orihime, because Crunchyroll fucked me over on this. The way it was done was, there's the first episode of season 1 and the rest are season 2.
Yeah.
But the way it was done, it looked really, I thought it was episode 1, and it was weird. So the way I thought I was watching second season, I started with the second season, I was watching the second season when I started, and then it was the first episode. So I thought, okay, they just mistake season 2 for season 1. And then they got to the end and they realized, no, they just mixed, it was labeled in a way I didn't realize. But anyway, if you're going to watch it, it's only the first episode of the first season's on there, and then you'll have to find another source to stream it. But I mean, if you're a fan of harems, it's worth watching. If you're not, I mean, it's okay. It's not, I can't say this wholeheartedly recommend, because there's people who are not a fan of harems who definitely won't like it, and then there's people who are a fan of harems who will like it anyway. So I mean, it's worth streaming. It's worth the first watch. It's worth watching the first episode for it, just get a feel of it to see whether you would like it or not.
Yeah.
Zero, I can't. I'm not gonna. I have issues with Zero. I'm not sure I would recommend reading it. There's other mangas that have done a similar thing a lot better. So I personally wouldn't recommend Zero. It was okay, but I personally wouldn't recommend it. That being said, people may have a different opinion than me. I might find it worth watching.
I'm not even gonna bother going on my animes and shit, because
As for
I just can't think of what to say about them.
as for the regular The Magical High School, it's worth watching the first episode. I'm not going to say it's exceptional, but it's all right.
Yeah.
Jordan, what have you been watching?
Like I said, I'm not gonna go into it because I have nothing to say about anything. There's a lot of things I started, basically.
Yeah.
And I can't really comment on them because I haven't gone that far into them.
Okay.
Next time, if there is, we probably would talk about something a bit more closed. This way we don't have...
What we should do next time is we should pick a subject and then discuss it.
How about next episode is about Trigger? And the guy who...
Let's do Trigger and everything that's... Because the guy who... A lot of people from Gynex. It's basically... We took a bunch of people from Gynex to form Trigger.
Right.
But before that, they made a couple of other things. So yeah, I think the main topic for the next one should be Trigger.
Right.
And then we'll talk about stuff like Gurren Lagann, Kill la Kill.
How they compare.
Coolie Coolie.
Very cool.
Personally, one thing I didn't like about the structure was that I had to think about what I was watching, and I'm just like, oh shit. Don't have anything to say about it. Not at all.
Yeah, I'm just...
Next episode will be about Trigger.
Yeah.
And Liam, I saw Liam, no offense Liam, but you did kind of struggle. You're like, what do I say about this anime?
Yeah. I just kind of...
We're still getting the feel and the format of it. If we have a subject next time, I think we can do a bit of research beforehand and rewatch a couple of things.
Yeah,
Anime Trigger, it's stuff we like, so we'll know a bit more about it.
Yeah.
But anyway, this has
I
been
can ask Trigger, and you can bless Trigger.
So, one other thing I wanna check, is the Chaotic Anime Podcast already a thing? Because if it's not, that's what we want to call it.
I think it may be because there was a card game called Chaotic a while back.
Call it Chaotic with an X. Chaotic.
How about we call it the Anime Chaos Podcast?
Yeah.
Well, this was pretty chaotic for a Chaos podcast, so we're doing good.
Canime.
Canime.
Call it Canime, please.
Canime, yes.
Anime, call it Canime?
Canime. Yeah, I love it.
Sounds-
Okay, let's check if it's taken. Anime Podcast. And it is not taken. Wait. There is an artist called Canime, but there is no podcast called Canime.
So we may be able to get away with it.
Or copyrighted. Use it.
Okay, I guess it's the Canime Podcast.
Yes.
Jordan, I almost never go with your ideas.
But this time, I had a really good one.
No, it wasn't very good. It's just we can't think of anything else.
Oh, okay, so...
We are currently using Canime.
That's canon now. It's canon. It is anime.
This is canon, and we're Canime.
And Liam is a canon.
Yes, we can.
Boom!
Okay, signing off.
Sign off.